everyone. In this video I'm gonna show you how to install an interior door on a job site where there is no hardwood floor installed yet. So the first step is I put the spacers matching the thickness of the floor, and then just double checking on the level. So what I see is the door is around 1/8 of the plumb, meaning that this side is going to be higher. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna install this one following this side following the spacer, and then wherever is the level and space even around the door is gonna leave sticking out down on this side. So the first step is putting the frame into the opening without using any shims or spacers. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to find out my future position of the frame inside of the opening. Like you see this this wall is a little bit off the plumb. On the bottom I can tell it's 1/8, and then the frame is gonna be just like that, exactly like that. So now, since I made sure that this way my frame is plumb, I'm just fixing randomly with the bottom screw. Now I'm trying to figure out this way of the hinge. So we wanna go all the way tight on the bottom and try to lose the top. Now just a little bit on the top, that way. So now perfectly level from both sides. But I don't have any shims yet. I just adjusted the frame plumb, and I'm gonna fulfill the gaps behind with the shims. So the reason why I'm removing the gasket, I'm planning to put one more screw just to adjust the frame so it's not twisted. The reasons why I'm putting another screw just to adjust the frame, you know, so it's not twisted and door won't be bumpy. So here's the top one. Just to avoid the door frame from being twisted. And gasket, you wanna make sure the gasket is tight inside of the groove. everything that doesn't allow me to go with the frame into the enough space in order to reveal the gap for the door after I mount the frame needs to be cut. As you can see, I have plenty of space to put the frame level, you see, since I cut all of the shear-rack and everything on my way. Just enough to fill the gap. Now I'm gonna double check all of the hinges again. Okay. Everything's good. So after we hang the door on the hinges, the way you can tell that the door is perfectly plumb, you just put in the door in different positions and making sure it doesn't swing by itself. Since I noticed that my door is a little bit bumpy, I figured that there is a little bit of the shear-rack that is sticking out too much and doesn't allow me to put the frame straight so the door doesn't bump. Now, since I cleaned all the shear-rack that was tied to my frame, in order to make the frame a little bit bumpy, I noticed my door bumps a little bit, so I'm just tightening the screw a little bit. Just a little bit that way. I need to twist. Just to make a little bit of the angle. Just a little bit to straighten the gap. Over here I'll put the screw. So on the opposite side, what I'm gonna do, first of all, I'm gonna make sure that the top gap is the same on both sides. So I'm gonna adjust the bottom just a little bit. Here's I have a little smaller shim. So now, since I mounted the hinge side and the door is not bumpy, I'm gonna start working on the frame strike plate. So since I put the frame plumb, I can tell that the frame is flush on the top, and then the wall starts sticking out on the bottom. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the top screw and I'm gonna start raising the frame until I'm gonna match the gap above the door. Yep. So this is our spacer for the top of the frame. So I'm gonna lift it up and just to mark it up right here. Just to mark it up. Okay. Making sure that my gap is straight and marks are lined up. now the gap is even. Finish the lining up the gaps on the top and on the bottom. Now I want to make sure that the door is airtight with the frame. So since there are no screws and no shims, what I'm doing is I'm closing the door tight to the top screw gasket, and then making sure that the door is airtight over here and on the top. So I'm just marking my frame on the floor just to follow the mark when I'm gonna start putting the screw. Just a little bit back. The gap on the top. Now I'm following the bottom one, just a little bit back, and some shim in the middle, right here. Just to follow the same gap everywhere. Even gap from the top all the way to the bottom. So now, since all of the gasket tight to the door, and then some gaps allow us to put the spray foam, we're pretty much all set with the door installation. And the second stage is to mount the trim around the door.